mean, manipulative. I can just spot it right away. And for me, I saw that he was really trying to be a better person. And I've had people tell me that I come across fake because I'm nice to people, especially nice to strangers. And I thought, this is very strange. I don't believe in being mean to people. If you're mean to me, yes, I'll be mean to you. To an extent. Hi everyone, welcome back to No Light Tarot. My name is Hallie, so grateful to have you all. I am doing an update about Blake Lively versus Justin Baldoni in light of her recent donut stunt where she was pictured working at a donut shop in I think it was Wellington, Connecticut. So I want to talk about that, just the energy. Check out my playlist of It Ends With Us playlist. I've been almost 100% accurate on everything. I always say this, I'm intuitive based, I'm not fact based. And the whole point of this channel is to learn. I don't believe in indulging in negative gossip and so forth. So if you're looking for that, I'm not the reader for you. I started this channel so that we could look at tarot, the art of tarot, and use it to grow and learn from one another. So just putting that out there. Please comment. I would love to hear your comments. Please be respectful. I also just want to say I have a colleague that is very ill and could use your help. He could use all our help. I've donated already. I'm going to donate again. And the link to his GoFundMe is in the description box. He unfortunately was diagnosed with cancer and I'd really, really love to help him out. He's a great guy. One of my jobs that I have, he worked in the kitchen. We're not sure what the future holds for him, but I pray for him every day and I just wish him well, and I would really love the support if you guys could help him out. It would mean a lot to me and a lot to him and a lot to humanity in general. Okay, with that out of the way, for this reading I'm using the Lightest Tarot. Love this tarot deck. I've used it I think the most out of any tarot deck I've had. And I'm going to do Blake versus Justin. I've already meditated. I've pre-shuffled some cards. And something that I remember very clearly, I recently have had a lot of people say to me, because I wrote in the comment section of a video, I predicted this would happen. Forgot exactly what it was. But a lot of people have been reaching out to me and saying, in the beginning, particularly people that saw my first video, I said that I don't think Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively are a healthy couple. I got a lot of backlash for that. Some videos that I do, I get a lot of backlash for, and it's fine, whatever. Liam Payne too. I've had to private one of the videos because a lot of Liam Payne fans have been harassing me. But that aside, I saw very clearly that they were not in a good relationship. The tarot told me. I always say this, my investment is reality TV. I love reality TV. I also am very into White Lotus right now. It's so good. I'm loving it. I'm kind of obsessed. I have to stop myself from watching it and go to bed. But I'm not really invested in celebrity news because I know some celebrities. I've met a lot of celebrities. I say I've met about 70% of A-listers and B-listers. So I've never really been into celebrity news like that. Like I said, I started this channel. I was inspired. Somebody told me to do it. And I'm grateful that they did tell me to do it because I'm so grateful for this. But with that being said, a lot of you I've never really bought into the Blake Lively thing. I heard stories about her, and the stories that I heard were not very good. Same thing about Justin Baldoni. I heard one story, I can't remember who it is because I met so many people in the industry. A lot of my close friends are in film, in TV, in actors, are crew members, so I can't remember exactly who it is. And I don't want to go back and say, did you tell me this? Did you tell me this? Because I've tried before and it's just a waste of time. So I did hear that he kind of had a savior complex. Somebody told me that because I used to love him in what's that show, Jane the Virgin. I used to love Jane the Virgin. I liked Gossip Girl. I wasn't that into Gossip Girl, but I used to watch it because I had nothing to do on a Saturday night. So yeah, That's why I used to watch it. But with that being said, a lot of what I said has come true, and I have had no personal investment in it. The only thing I really believe in is justice, and I believe in if the underdog. As a true Aquarius, I don't like people being bullied, and I don't like people being ganged up on. It really annoys me. In fact, one day I remember I was defending him. I wouldn't say she's famous, but a blogger on Instagram was talking a lot of smack about him, and I said, you don't even know the full facts. She came for me. This was before he came out with his lawsuit, and I knew he was innocent. I always said that from the beginning. But long story short, you'll see a lot of grifters just take on his side now. If she came out with something, they would take on his side. But what I am so true to as an Aquarius is the truth. And I really, really don't like people being bullied, and I think that's why I've become so invested in this. And especially as Justin being a fellow Aquarius, I've always said from day one, I can see through Aquarius because I am an Aquarius, and I know that we have our shadow side, we have our light side, and there are a lot of famous dark Aquarius. I say this all the time. Most reality TV stars that are hated are Aquarius, and I explain for different reasons, obviously, but I can always spot an Aquarius that's true to themselves and a kind-hearted Aquarius versus a dark-hearted, selfish, mean, manipulative. I can just spot it right away. And for me, I saw that he was really trying to be a better person. And I've had people tell me that I come across fake because I'm nice to people, especially nice to strangers. And I thought, this is very strange. I don't believe in being mean to people. If you're mean to me, yes, I'll be mean to you. To an extent, not always, but I will defend myself. But to strangers, there's no reason to be unkind to strangers, And I've had people say you're fake. So I've had the criticism that Justin has received because people think we're too quote unquote good to be true. But I say this all the time. Aquarius, like Justin, and I can relate, we don't like to show people our nasty side until you take us there. And then we can be very nasty. So people think that's fake, but we just don't believe in being that way if we don't have to be. If that makes sense. Like being nasty is a weapon to use only when people are nasty to us. I don't know if that makes sense. And all that stuff, I can see it, trust me, because I've gotten the same criticism. I still get the same criticism, and I don't care anymore. It used to really affect me because I thought to myself, I'm really not a fake person, at all. But if you're nice and you're kind and for no reason, people want to assume the worst of you, which is what I think they did with Justin. But I strongly believe he has an army of people behind him, generations of descendants, people that he has lived a clean life and he means well. I'm not saying he's an angel, but when you mean well, it provides protection, angelic protection that I think he has, divine protection that I think he has. So when I was shuffling the cards with Blake, I got Six of Cups. And Six of Cups is about kind of charity, giving, humanitarianism. So she's going to donate some money, not only because we just saw her do the donut stunt, which I think it was a stint, excuse me. She is going to now have this whole UN aspect of her career, which I believe a lot of actresses have done when they're in hot water. We've seen that with a few people. Particularly, we've seen that with A-listers who've gone down a dark path and then all of a sudden they're back again, because people say, oh my gosh, they're so sweet, because they have a major PR machine behind them. So she's going to start to be like humanitarian, all that kind of stuff, say yes, I'm so into this, I'm so into that, and donate a bunch of money. Let's see, to female causes. I did predict this before, but I didn't realize she was going to take the humanitarian route. I said that she's going to play on the female aspect of things. When Ryan leaves her, because I see Ryan leaving her for somebody younger, she's going to claim that he made her do it. So with Temperance, as I clarified, Temperance, Four of Cups, and Four of Swords in reverse, I see very strongly that she's going to now paint herself as this angelic. She's going to separate herself from him, which she's already started doing. And she's going to... An admission is coming soon. An admission is coming soon. I said October, and it is April, so May, June, July, August, September, October. So 6 months away. I think it might be sooner. I think about 3 to 4 months. But by October, they will both admit guilt. And then within the next year, we're going to find out that Ryan is leaving her and that he's moving on to somebody else, a younger woman. I believe they might have already started seeing each other. He definitely has his eye on somebody else. He's not the most... Okay, from my opinion, and what the tarot tells me, he's not a very faithful type of person. And he is the Sun of Scorpio. Ryan is. And sometimes Sun of Scorpio woman I adore. I love. They're one of my favorites. However, Sun of Scorpio men can have very shadow side. And it can be related to very dark sexual... what's the word I'm looking for? Dark sexual... what's the word I'm looking for? Oh my gosh, why am I going... I'm going blank right now. But they're very into dark sexual fantasies, and they like to live out those fantasies. And it's almost like masochistic, you know? I don't want to get down the whole sexuality rabbit hole. I don't want to go there because I don't like to out people's sexuality. But he's into very dark sexual things that I don't want to put any of them in certain circumstances because that's between them. I don't judge people. But what I will say is this. She is going to, when she comes out after they're done, she's going to claim that he was dominant, overly sexual with her, made her do things she didn't want to, so forth and so forth. So she's really going to, once he decides to divorce her, she's going to hire a very famous divorce attorney that's going to make this really take the divorce down a very dark route. They're going to end very badly. Very badly. And unfortunately, that happens a lot between two actors, you know, actress and actor. I don't know why, but I think maybe because it's a PR, it's a PR type, you know, PR ends up fighting one another. Between two actors, it's always a lot of, when one fights the other, it's bad. It gets dark very quickly. And that's going to happen with them. We're going to find out text messages, and it's gonna be a divorce from hell. It's gonna last quite some time. And when she leaves, she's going to say, he made me do it. So that's what I see on her side. That she started to separate herself from him. I think her sister is kind of encouraging her to leave him, but she has, and I said this before about Blake Lively, she has I don't want to judge how anybody's raised, but I was raised around a lot of people like Blake Lively, which I think was which is so kind of endearing about White Lotus, that show, because it's about people like Blake Lively, who I grew up with, and just people that are so out of touch. And if you haven't seen White Lotus, I highly recommend it. I don't want to give it away to you, but one of the characters describes privileged people of a certain demographic this way, and she says, you don't have to steal because you always thought it was yours to begin with. And that's the kind of entitlement that people like Blake Lively and the people she's surrounded by, Ryan Reynolds, these kind of people, they feel like everything is theirs, which can be a positive. But when it's at the demise of somebody else, that you have to bulldoze people and make others feel less than in order to have it, that is entitlement. And when you have to manipulate and lie and cheat your way to something because you think it's yours, it's not yours. It's not yours. So I only say that to say, because like I said, I grew up with people like Blake Lively, and there is this sense she doesn't know real life, you know. And I was telling my friend this the other day, as we were talking about how, you know, because I grew up, we talk about White Lotus and how I'm obsessed with it, and because I grew up with people like that. And honestly, I was very sheltered to an extent until I moved to New York. And New York really hardened me fast. Like, people would tell me real truths, and sometimes I'd break down because I just didn't know how to handle it. And I think that's what happens with these privileged societies, is that we raise children, and these children, and I was a child, trust me, until I moved to New York. I was actually technically age-wise a child, but there were some real truths that I hadn't been exposed to, that I should have been exposed to at that time. And same with Blake Lively. She hasn't been exposed to real life because she hasn't had to be exposed to it. So she has a hard truth coming for her, and it hasn't settled in yet. But once she has to admit her truth and admit her wrong, which I don't think she'd ever had to do, which is crazy to me. Crazy, crazy, crazy. That's one of the circumstances, or one of the circumstances of, or consequences of, being spoiled, is that you won't hear humility, you won't hear and I'm sorry, because she's never had to say sorry. She's never had to say sorry. Sorry guys, I have brain fog because I did this workout earlier and it's making I need to drink some electrolytes. Okay, so with that being said, let's focus on Justin. So when I was shuffling the cards with Justin, I got the Tower card. Now the Tower is a surprise. It's not always bad, but here I'm sensing something, Two of Swords, that's not very good. Let's clarify. He really needs to protect himself, because I see some people turning on him. Let's see. Okay, so I see some people turning on him. For some reason, I get Jamie Heath. I hope it's not true. Jamie Heath is his co-founder of Wayfarer. But I do see them having like a separation. I think that they're not in a good place right now. He and his co-founder of Wayfarer, which unfortunately happens, you know. When you deal with money and friends, it's a hard lesson I've had to learn. Money and friends, family and friends, it just doesn't, family and money just doesn't go well together. It just doesn't. So with the Sun, Ace of Wands and Eight of Wands, it is going to get better, but it's going to get really bad first. And I think Jamie Heath feels pulled into this, and he's kind of bitter. You know, you have those friends, right? That when you're winning, they're winning, so they're happy. I wonder what his sun sign is, Jamie Heath. He gives me Sun in Scorpio. I get the Sun in Scorpio energy. But when you are at your low point, they use it against you. And that's what I see happening here. Is that if he's happy with the Sun, if he's happy, okay, everybody's happy. But when he really needs people, his wife is great at that. She's very good at, she's cool. She's very dope. I like his wife a lot. But there's certain friends he has around him, and I'm seeing Jamie being one of them, that they are only in it, and that's LA. I found that to be a lot about LA. That's why I did not like LA. LA was very fake energy. And I see here that he has a lot of people that are like this to him, and then behind his back they want something else that they're not telling him, or they want a piece of something that he has. basically like vultures. So he has to be very careful of the vultures, and protect his energy big time, big time. Because I see some friends being very sinister behind the scenes, and I'm seeing Jamie Heath. I hope it's not true, but that's who I'm seeing, and it's disheartening to see it, but that's what I see. So that's what I have for you guys, an update. I do see Blake settling soon. By October, her and Ryan will admit it. Leslie Sloan is very stubborn. She's the publicist. She's going to take some time, but I see an admission of guilt by October and a public statement, and then Ryan is going to leave. Basically, I don't want to give White Lotus away, but it's such a good show, and it touches on so many topics about privileged people. And I don't want to talk too much about it, but something that reminds me of the show is how Ryan Reynolds thinks of his wives. His very trophy wife. And there's nothing wrong with being a pretty wife. There's nothing wrong with being a well put together wife, a well spoken wife. But if you lack substance, and if you lack growth and any kind of character, it's a trap. It's a trap, and you're never going to be happy, no matter who you marry, no matter, so to men like Ryan, I suppose they get what they deserve if they marry a woman like this, but a woman that is easily swayed is not a good wife. And vice versa, a man that is easily swayed is not a good husband. You need to be with somebody that has strength of character. And that's when you see these people being swayed and manipulated and not knowing who they are because they lack character. And that does not make for a very good marriage. Let me just tell you that. So anyways, that's what I have for you guys. I love you all. Thank you so much for watching. Please, if you can help my colleague out with, even if it's $5, it's in the description box below. It's his GoFundMe. I love you all. Thank you so much for watching. Take care.